Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the BIFS University Guidance Program, a Parent Information Evening. Okay, it's so nice to have you with us. Thank you for making the effort. My name is Kevin Baker, head of school, and this year I wear many hats. I'm also a university guidance counselor. In my past life, before administration and things like that, this was one of my professional specialties. So I have that experience, I have that training. I'm back in the seat this year as we transition into our next guidance counselor. And it's my pleasure to introduce her. It's Dr. G.J. Johnson. I'll let Dr. Johnson say a few words. She's slowly coming on board right now. She'll hopefully be fully in place by January. Dr. Johnson.
Good evening. This is my honor to be here, part of this huge community, and we appreciate your time here tonight. I'm here basically to support you, students, and all the staff, and obviously Mr. Baker, for our students to pursue their dream. You can easily find me or Mr. Baker on the second floor, the University Guidance Center. He will introduce that. So feel free to come and talk to me, and there are many resources available for you. So just come and let us know what's your question, what's your concern. We'll find out for you and your children.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson has just completed her certification in University Guidance Counseling from University of California, Los Angeles. Okay, and so she comes as a PhD as well and other things. She's highly qualified. We're very fortunate to have her joining our team. I'm going to start out with an audience poll right here so we know who's in the room. How many of you are grade 12 parents? Hands up. Okay, all right, 3 of you, 4 of you. Okay, good. Okay, a lot of this will be for you. Okay, how many are grade 11? Excellent, we got 3 or 4. You're right on time. Again, you'll have some valuable information here as well. Grade 10, welcome. This is really important for you because we're going to talk about the importance of your selection for your courses for grades 11 and 12, which is really critical. Any grade 9s here? Grade 9s, welcome grade 9s, welcome to high school, and also welcome to what we'll later say, it all counts now. Okay, and then anyone grade 8 or under, hands up. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are way ahead of the curve, way ahead of the curve. But I'll talk to you also for a moment as a parent of 4 children, all of which have had their own different paths to university and to careers, and each one is unique. And I'll tell you as a parent that has successfully survived it 4 different times, 4 different ways, if there's one reflection I have, I would have started to attending these when I was a grade 8, grade 7 parent. Okay? So anyway, so you're right on time. Excellent. Okay, here's the opening question. This can be a little bit interactive. Please speak up so we can capture it. Okay, what do you remember about when you applied to university? Come on, parents. What do you remember? Way back when. I know. But what do you remember? Come on. Someone be a risk taker. Nothing. I love it. No, I don't know. Okay. Let's do it this way with hands. How many applied to more than one university? Okay. Only about 25% of you did. I applied to one university. There was one university I wanted to go. I went to one university, and that's where I went. And that's just kind of the way it was going to be. Okay? How many of you were thinking about university when you entered high school? No one. Well, one. There was all, well done. Congratulations. Okay. The point is that is our frame of reference, especially as parents, for this whole university thing. Here's the reality. It is much, much different today. The reason it's different today is because of technology. All right? And also the fact that you're no longer, when I went to university, I was competing against others in my home country, maybe even in my home state, and the circle of applicants was very small. Now, thanks to the World Wide Web, the internet, the Common Application, the UCAS system, and all the other streamlined ways to get your applications out there, it's much, much more competitive. Now you're applying against the world, not just against your neighbors. And so because of that, schools that when we went to university may have thought, well, everyone gets in there, now are much harder to get into, and the selectives are incredibly harder. Okay, and we'll be sharing you some of that data tonight. So it takes more intention, it takes a strategy, and it takes some mindfulness to make sure that you are aligned and your family is aligned, and you're talking about plans for post-high school. It's about a dialogue, and it's about an informed conversation. That's what tonight's about, okay? Moving on. And ultimately, it's about university acceptance. To that extent, just real quickly, you are in incredible shape because you're going to an IB school. All right? The IB diploma is recognized as the gold standard qualification for universities around the world. And the IBO, International Baccalaureate Organization, has this link right here that takes you to their website, and you can put in any country and any university and see what their recognition policy is for the IB. I've also handed out a piece of paper there that's mainly North American focused, but this is for the worldwide. The IB is coveted and sought after. Students that have it, universities want those students. It's hard work, but they're highly valued. Okay, and I can tell you as a parent of IB children who have gone on to university, the benefits are not just in the way of getting advanced placement or advanced standing. My daughter was recognized, had a full year taken off of university because she was graduated as an IB diploma. But more so, the leadership opportunities and the skill sets and the fact that it's about not just getting into university, it's about having the skills and the background, the knowledge to be successful and to graduate and get a good job. IB students do that, and they do it better than anyone else does. My daughter said very simply, the hardest thing I ever did was my IB diploma program and my extended essay, as well as all the examinations. Even my senior year at university, where she was an honor student, she went ahead and said nothing compared to that. I was ready. Okay? And so will your children be. But I encourage you, I don't care if you're going to Finland, I don't care if you're going to Iraq, I don't care where you're going or where you're thinking of going, check out this place to see what the recognition policies are and to what the country's expectations are. Very important. Okay? Moving on. What do universities think about the IB? I'm just going to throw two up. I know I talked about some already. There's this little university called McGill. It's in Canada. It's a brilliant university. For those that don't know, Canadian universities, outstanding. Okay? And here's what they say. They enthusiastically recruit IB students, and they want them. They're assured the candidate has a strong and broad-based academic preparation. They've had a rigorous academic challenges, and they go ahead and they do excellent, and they're considered, again, prestigious. Moving on. There's this little university called Harvard. Okay, Howard Gardner, he's an educational theorist called multiple intelligences theory. He's like, very important. Here's what he says. He's beyond him being a fan and Harvard graduate school being a fan. The point is, it's all about the inclusion of the arts and the fact that it's a holistic liberal arts education where students learn to think critically. Because it's not the knowledge anymore, ladies and gentlemen, it's the skills. It's your approaches to learning, and it's a discipline that you learn. And if you're just in 8th grade right now, or 9th grade or 10th grade, the skills you're learning right now with your teachers today and tomorrow are going to help you once you get here. Okay, and so anyway, I could give all of that up. Let's talk about guidance here at BIFS. University guidance. Specifically, our services are twofold. We are here to serve and support our families. One is with academic counseling. This starts in grade 9, and we'll go into the program. What are you doing with your 4 years here? What are your interests? What are your strengths? What does it mean to be looking at careers, things of that nature? And then obviously university counseling as well with the career. But the big thing is we're here to support and to help. We're here to facilitate a successful application into university. We do not get students into university. Students get themselves into university. Parents support their children getting into universities. That's an important distinction. We are here as a support service. We have a lot of expertise and we have a lot of passion. We have a lot of network connections, all of which we bring to bear for your children. But in the end, it's up to your student to make it happen. And that, as a parent, again, I've been there, is a little scary. It works. Okay, all right, moving on. Welcome to the University Guidance Center. It's on the second floor. This is the outside. See the pennants? Can't miss it, okay? And the inside, look at the pennants. Really pretty, really beautiful. We have tons of resources there for you. We have, last year we had about 50 universities stop by to see us here on this campus. We set a table up right there in the hallway as the kids go on to lunch and come back. All students, grades 9, 10, 11, and 12 are encouraged to stop and introduce themselves to the representatives and to learn more about the university, even if they're not even thinking of that country. Why? Because they have to develop the skills and the competencies on how to interact with representatives before they have their dream school right in front of them and they want to present themselves to that university. It takes time. Additionally, by visiting these other universities, you might be surprised. Case in point, started this year, Toyo University from Japan came in. They are starting 3 brand new international education programs in English. And they are giving full scholarships and they are giving living stipends of $1,500 a month to every student they accept, and they want IB kids. They were thrilled to be here. No one had heard of it before. Now a number of our students will say, maybe I'm going to do that. Talk to your mom and dad. You only know that if you stop by the table. Okay? So there's a lot of things like that we'll talk about. Anyway, here's the Guidance Center. It's for you too as parents. Resources galore in there. And that's also where Dr. Johnson office is. Okay? Moving on. Our philosophy is simply best fit. That's our philosophy that guides our university guidance program. I love this. University is a match to be made, not a prize to be won. Okay? It's not a trophy contest. And that's really hard, especially when some parents start talking about, so where is your child applying to? Well, where have they gotten accepted to? Well, my child is going. It's not about that. It's about where can your child go that is the best fit for what they aspire to do, where they can be most successful, period. Where your child goes to university is not a grade of your parenting skills. Okay? Believe me, it's not. I can say it from this side, but it's true. Okay? Remember that. Okay? Remember that. Okay, the university your student attends is not a reflection of your parenting. It's about fit. Fit to us, again, means that it's the college is where a student can be happy, successful, and integrated into the life on campus for the duration of his college years. Some students will want a full university campus life. Some just want some place to go and they want to live in the city and they want to more live on their own. Some are looking for different kinds of experiences. We'll talk about fit in a moment, the aspects of fit. But you only know about that is if the family talks about it as the student explores their options, okay, and does the research. Here are components of fit. Components of fit. Now, are all of these components of fit for everybody? No. But when we say fit, here are the kinds of things we want everybody thinking about. Okay, what's your career or your intended major? If you don't know, that's fine. There's universities that love you if you're undecided. Their niche is to help you discover your passion and to make sure you're successful. Some people come out and know they're going to be a neurosurgeon. I know it. I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. I'm doing that. Well, then you better start looking at those kinds of programs. But don't wait to go ahead and get to university before you decide, I really don't like to be a neurosurgeon, because you'll waste your time. You better do some pre-work. Anyway, what about religious affiliation? What about school spirit, diversity, parents, cost? Your students will say, oh, there was this great university they came by today and they were wonderful and they loved me and they want me to go. And you're going to say, how much does it cost? And they're going to say, I don't know. Because the students aren't looking at the price tag. Okay? We'll talk about price tag tonight. It should be part of your conversation. But there's other things, big or small, liberal, conservative. What country? This is the number one point we have at our school. This year's senior class is 30 students. Those 30 students are applying to 16 different countries. Okay? Some of them to 3 or 4 different countries with their 10 applications. So, being an international school, we have a very broad perspective on that. Okay? Anyway, athletics, co-curriculars, brand name. How important is brand name? Do you know with brand name though? Yes, you can go to Harvard if you can get in. Wonderful. Get into Harvard. You're going to be taught by a graduate assistant in a classroom of 200. You're not going to be taught by Howard Gardner. Okay, so those are things you need to know about, right? And then internships, but big one. What about job placement after graduation? Huh? Okay, so congratulations, you got a bachelor's of philosophy degree. What are you going to do with it? Okay, there is that element too. We talk about all that, and we are there to help support all those conversations. Okay, here's our program. Grade 9, it all counts now. As I mentioned earlier, if you were a stellar student in grade 8, the universities will never see it. If you were horrible in grade 8, they'll never see it. They will only see grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. That's all they want to see. That's all they care about. So, what we do at this point here is we talk about what do you want to do for the 4-year planning. So your grade 9 and 10 is the end of the MYP. But we really do 4-year planning intensively here, because there's not a lot of choice in 9 and 10. But we do intensively when we talk about diploma selection. Okay, your 11 and 12, those are most critical. Also, we start talking about identifying your strengths, what are your interests. We start looking at strategies. We start helping students get to know themselves a little bit more intentionally, all right? Grade 10, we start into the IBDP planning as we finish up the MYP. We're still building those study skills. We're still building those approaches to learning skills. We're still building the content, make sure they're ready, but it's all about this. And then we get into career interest inventories. We talk about possible career things, and we already start talking a little bit about universities, like nudge, nudge, go talk to Michigan. I know you don't want to go to the United States. It's a huge university. Look at all of the degrees they have. Okay, nudge, nudge. University City College of Lincoln, London, UCL will actually be here tomorrow. Okay, UK, you ever thought about the UK? Go talk to the rep. Look at it. So we start nudging the sophomores, and the grade 10s are starting to do that. It's great. Very, very good. And also we'll be having you guys start to talk as well. Between grade 10 and grade 11, we strongly encourage families that wherever they holiday to, it doesn't matter, go to a college. Get on a campus. You don't have to want to go there. You don't have to even care about it. Just go through the process. Go in there. Every college and university does a tour in the summer. They run them all the time. Go ahead, go. Ideally, you do 3. You do one large, huge campus. What does a campus of 60,000 feel like? Right? Do one mid-sized, somewhere in the 5,000 to 10,000 size-ish. And then do one small one. Do it. Do a school of 2,000. Just to do it. To get a feel for it. Okay? I really strongly encourage that. Just to get on a campus. Okay? If you already know I'm really interested in this one school, then you should also try and go there. If you can. You're still testing the waters. Okay? Grade 11 though. This is where it all gets serious. Okay? Welcome to the IB diploma world, and it gets rigorous. Okay, we start to introduce them to the university process. University visits and application lists start to get formed by the end of the year. A draft, soft copy. What 10 schools might you be interested in going to? We'll talk about how to make the list in a moment. We also introduce them to a tool called BridgeU. BridgeU is a comprehensive, intentional technology tool to help the research process and to develop applications. And it's through that we actually do the applications online. Okay? Then we begin, also we start talking about testing. Some universities will want standardized tests. SATs, ACTs, TOEFLs, etc. And then we start talking about, you want to do your first test in the second semester of your junior year if you need to do one. Okay, just again, to do it, to get the experience of it. All right, then we go to university campus visits this summer. This is where you've done a list. Now, if you can get to some of those, get there. And if you like it, let the people know, I think I might apply here. That's important. Showing interest and intent goes a long way when your application is received by them. The first question they'll say to their readers is, who knows this applicant? Have they contacted and connected with us? All right? And then you work on application essays over the summer. Okay? That already starts. Along with your extended essay, along with, it's all part of the process. Grade 12. This is the year. Okay? Jerry, you want to come? I mean, I can have other people come up here and do things for me. But let's go ahead and do this. Strong finish. The number one thing I tell all the kids right here. Graduate. The number one goal is to graduate. When you graduate from Busan International Foreign School, you graduate with an accredited diploma. That diploma is recognized worldwide. It's not the qualification to get you into everywhere, but everyone can get into many universities with just our diploma, having graduated high school. So the first priority is graduate. Okay? After that, then, we go. As we start the year, any adjustments to your lists? When are your application deadlines? Because every country has different deadlines. Okay? Any early applications? In other words, your dream school, are you strong enough and good enough and unique enough to go in early to them? So they're going to say, ooh, we want you. And if it's a match, it's beautiful, you're done. Okay? Everyone's encouraged to apply one early out of their 10. Everyone should take a shot. We don't want anyone to say, oh, well, I wish I would have, I could have, and I didn't. No, do it. Try it. You never know. Then we have a lot of university visits on campus. Again, this year we'll be looking at close to 70 universities that will be here. We're already up to close to 40 who have visited already. We got more this week. University of British Columbia will be here this week. University City London's going to be here, UCL, and others. Hospitality industries out of Europe are coming, and other such things. They all come at different times, depending on when their applications are, okay? Then, obviously, if you can get on campus someplace. Finish your testing in the fall. You started the test when you did your junior year, your SAT, ACT, TOEFL. Now go back and do it again and try and improve your score. Take it again. 2 times. 3 times, no more. No more than 3. You don't need to. Research is very clear. You don't get much improvement after your 2nd to 3rd shot. Biggest jump is 1st to 2nd. Because you learn what they're looking for. Okay? Then let's go back. Sorry about that. Okay, finish our essays, complete your applications, submit them on time. Then the fun part, receive your acceptances. By the way, it feels like an eternity going from completing to receiving. And believe me, there won't be a more joyous day in your household when the first acceptance comes in. Because the student will say, I'm going somewhere, okay? And I will tell you, there are ample university places all around the world so that every student will go to university who wants to go to one, period. That's not a question, okay? Then we go ahead, and the hardest part is here. You got to make a decision. For North American universities, you got to make a decision by May 1. For European universities, it all hinges on your IB diploma score. So actually, you don't choose them, they choose you. And if you don't have the score, they don't choose you. That's why the examinations are really, really pressured. Okay? Graduate from BIFS, happy, happy moment, milestone in our students' lives, something we as a community celebrate. And it's very important to us. And then they get to go to university, hopefully without the parents. Okay? Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like. And it's different for every student. Okay? Our strategy for applications is simple. We believe in a researched and focused approach, not a shotgun. In other words, we're not going to go ahead and take an automatic gun and just spray applications all around the world and hope we hit something. Okay, it's not good for the school's reputation, it doesn't work for the student. Instead, do the research. Get aligned with where you want to go, why do you want to go there, be committed to it. You can pick 10 of them and make your best shot, and you will get it. All right? And the way we do the 10, again, research and target, not a shotgun. We do it by 3 things: stretch, solids or matches, and safety schools. You got to think of 3 buckets. The first bucket here is stretch. It's a reach school. Where is that dream school? Have you always wanted to go to Cambridge? Have you always wanted to go to Oxford? Have you wanted to go to MIT? I don't care where it is. If you have the basic criteria and that's a dream, reach for it. It doesn't hurt. Do it. Reach, you do 1 to 3 reaches. One of those can be an early application. Okay? All right? Then the meat of it is, where are you likely to get accepted? That's 5 to 7 schools, depending on the other numbers. Those are places you really want to go. They have good programs, and you know, based on your research and what UBridge tells you, UBridge actually says, based on your grades and your interests and everything else and everyone that's come before you, you have an 82% chance of getting accepted there. Apply. Well, 82%, guess what? You're here. That's likely. Apply. All right? This is where you like, this is dream, this is where you like to attend and have a good chance, and then the safety. Okay? This is a school where you'll be comfortable attending. I could be happy there, and you know they're going to take you. 99% chance. You have to have at least one safety. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen. And actually, my personal opinion, you do this application first. Put all your effort, make sure that's your best app. Then work on the others. Okay? And then you get it. Okay, so that's the strategy. All right, that's what we work on. They start drafting a list in grade 11. We finalize it at the start of grade 12 when we go forward. School started early August. I met with, well, over 3 weeks or so, I met with all the seniors. What's your list? What's your new list? Where are you at? Where are you going? What countries? What dates? We're still in that process now because it continues to move, but it can't keep moving. They have to make choices. Okay, now I talked about number 1 thing is graduate. You have to understand what it means to graduate BIFS. We have multiple paths to graduation. This is our system. It may be different than your national context or the school where you went to school to. So I want to take a moment and explain this. To graduate and get the BIFS diploma, a student can do it by taking the IB diploma, the full IB, by doing IB courses or BIFS courses. In grades 9 and 10, you're doing the MYP. That's everyone's doing that. There's no difference there. That's your grade 9 credits, that's your grade 10 credits. Then you have a choice. Do I do the full IB diploma, which is 3 courses at standard level, 3 courses at higher level, and doing the core, which is theory of knowledge class, creativity, action, service, and the extended essay, and taking all the exams, doing all the internal assessments, and actually trying to get the full IB diploma. And it's an important decision. We operate an inclusive program. Any student that wants to try it, we let them. All right? So we're not here to gatekeep that opportunity. I will tell you, it's not for everyone. It is rigorous. Okay? We encourage people to take it, but it's not for everyone. That's why we also offer IB courses. Some students who maybe can't do that second language or who knows what, or just don't want to do the whole thing, can take some of the courses as IB courses and sit the exams and get certificates for it. Okay? They're doing the internal assessments, they're going to do exams, but they're not going to do all 6 classes and all 3 papers for all 6 at the end. All right? That's an option. All this gets credit. Or you can do what we call a BIFS course, which is essentially the IB course without all of the external assessments tied to it, and maybe some other modifications as well. Okay? But essentially, you're still in the same class, but you're not needing to do all that same assessments. Okay? If you do any of these 3, you get a BIFS high school diploma before you leave here and we graduate in May. That's important because you won't know if you got your IB diploma, if you went full right here, you won't know if you have earned your IB diploma until July. So everyone leaves here with an accredited diploma. That's your backup plan. If you went full IB, then you did the exams, we see what your scores were in July. By the way, students can resit their IB exams 2 additional times if they don't pass it the first time. And we also can do requests for remarking and other things like that. There's things we can do if someone's close. Okay? To get your IB diploma, you got to get 24 points out of 45. Okay? This is not an IB diploma night, though. Ms. Shenstone, who is here, will be doing one, and she continues to do them, and she is the resource for that, and we're so thankful she's here. Thank you so much, Ms. Shenstone. Okay? And she did correct me, so I'm doing okay. All right, moving on. All of that adds up to what we call a credit. A credit, if you take one class at BIFS for 1 year, it equals 1 credit. A credit is a Carnegie unit. It's measuring seat time. That's all it's measuring. Did you sit in a class and achieve a minimal level that you passed it? If so, you get a credit. If you're in a class that's a half year, it's a half a credit. Okay? All those credits add up to meaning a graduation requirement. Our graduation requirement, I'm sorry that this is so small and it's an eye test, is 25 points. 25 credits. 25 divided by 4, 6 credits plus 1. Kids are taking 8 classes a day. Graduation credits are a minimum standard. Most of our students graduate with 28, 29, 30 or more credits. It doesn't matter. You just got to get over the bar. Okay? The most important thing is to graduate with this for us, and this is based, our accreditation is based on these standards, and these are best practice worldwide. 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 years of individuals and societies, 2 years of world language, okay? Physical education 2, fine arts 2, electives, other classes, 5 to 7, okay? Like, you know, and then the total's 25. If you do the full IBDP, you got theory of knowledge for 2, and creativity, action, service is a pass, extended essay is a pass. You have the IB, you have the BIFS diploma, okay? If you can't meet the world languages requirement, in other words, maybe you were taking Chinese somewhere and you transfer in, we will take those credits as Chinese and you'll get credit for that, but we don't have Chinese here, so maybe you brought 1 credit in and you're only going to be here 1 year, you physically can't get that other credit. We can waive that, and we can work with individual circumstances for that, okay? It depends on the program. But this is the general, this is what graduation requirements mean, and this is what ours are. Okay, moving on. You guys are doing great. That's a transcript, even more of an eye test. Okay. Now I talked about it. What do the universities all get? You'll get it in the next slide. They all get the transcript. The transcript is a single-page document of the 4 years that a student achieved at a school. So here we have Busan. This is Busan International Foreign School. Student name, date of birth, enrollment date. This is what, how many the graduation year, and that's their credits they have. Here's grade 12, grade 11, grade 10, grade 9. Here's all the courses. Here's the grades. We only simply put down, we grade 1 to 7. What they get for the year. They got a 1, they got a 7, somewhere in there. If it wasn't a grade, they get a pass. Okay, I mean, it's a real simple document. But it's a snapshot for the university to go ahead and say, yes, it's an accredited institution, here's the transcript, here's what they got, excellent, thank you. Okay, and then this is going. And when we send the applications off shortly for our seniors, grade 12 says in progress. But here, what the universities really want to see is what classes students are taking. Are the students taking the most challenging courses available to them, and how are they doing in those courses? Now, what you won't find on this document, and by the way, this is a key of what our grades 1 to 7 mean. It's the same ones that are in the parent handbook. It's all very consistent. What you won't see here is 2 things. Class rank, like who's number 1 in the class and who's number 30. We don't do that. Okay? 2, you won't see GPA, which is grade point average. Okay? We won't calculate it. We do it internally for ourselves. We don't put it on the transcript. Why do we not put it on the transcript? Because first off, not every university wants GPA. And if a university uses GPA in its decision making, they will calculate their own GPA. They have their own system because they're getting some 7-point GPAs, some 4-point GPAs, some 5-point GPAs. They are getting all kinds of things in, and they have to make it all standardized. So they will recalibrate GPA anyway. So we don't put it on. Okay? It just makes it simple. And actually, the university reps tell us they like this. Thank you. Because then they don't have to go back to the family and say, oh, you got a 9.6 GPA in high school, but for us you're a 2. What does that mean? Well, anyway. I'm going to keep going. Doing great. What do we send to the universities when we send off those applications? First off, the application that the students completed, and then the official school transcript. That is huge. That is what, when we say we're accredited, the diploma has an accreditation stamp, but it really is the transcripts accredited. That's the valuable piece. Beyond that, teacher recommendation letters, personal essays, IB diploma scores, predicted grades. Like right now on Friday, students and parents and seniors, you will get predicted grades for your children. That is going to be essentially right now, what do each of your teachers think that your child will get on their exam in May? They are predicting, and they're trying to say best case scenario. Now they can't say, well, they're getting a 3 right now, they're going to get a 7. No. We have to be reasonable because our reputation and professional integrity is there. But if there is like, oh, it could be a 5 or a 6, guess what predicted is going to be? A 6. Okay? If it's anywhere there possible, if we look at best light, we're going most favorable. But it has a basis to it. Okay? And so the predicted grades will be coming up. We send those predicteds with the application because a lot of the universities, especially in Europe and in UK, make initial offers on predicted grades. Okay? So, test scores, SAT, ACT, TOEFL, whatever, and then the final report card. They usually want to see the final report card, okay? And we usually send that off. Not every university does. The stars mean some universities. Everyone wants that. Okay? All right, moving on. University counseling. It's all about conversation. And the most important conversation is with you, with the parents, and the student. We are here to support and facilitate. We will never recommend you must apply to this university. That's not our job. Our job is to do 2 things. Encourage you to look at places maybe you haven't considered that we think might be a fit, your choice, but also to hold up the mirror and be realistic and say, you can apply there, but our professional advice is you're going to be wasting one of your applications. It's not going to be a fit. Or they're not going to look at you. Now, the ball's still in the family court. But that family court has to be about this. It has to be about the conversation. There's some conversations going on right now between parents and students of grade 12 that we really wish were more dialogical than directive. It doesn't help parents. It doesn't help to tell your student where they will go and what they will study. Because once they leave you, they're going to do probably whatever they want anyway. You don't want to hear that. That's true. But if you've always wanted your son or daughter to do law and they want to do music, you guys got to talk. Because what ends up happening in that is it rips the kid apart. And you're ripping them apart in a very stressful senior year. Don't do that. Work with us. It's all about us conversing and working in partnership, starting early. Starting early. Right when you got to sign up for high school. Here we go. We're talking about this. All right. Some questions. Best options. What countries? Really important. What countries? Costs. What can we afford? Parents, you may not want to tell your children that, but do. For my children, we were very upfront. They were going to carry some of the burden of them going to university. We wanted them to have some skin in the game. We were not going to pay 100%. okay? And we expected them to apply for scholarships. Okay, but what are you? What are your conversations? It starts here. Really good questions. And also, where does this, what about student interest? What's realistic? What about finances? That's the start. Okay, moving on. Here's our university acceptance. It's just a snapshot. This isn't all the places we go. No, we got a very long list. But here is really what's interesting. Our students go all around the world. Okay? 21% go to the UK. 26% go to the US, what really could be North America. Europe is 26%, elsewhere is 27, close to 27. Why does that add up to over 100? Because they're applying to multiple places and they're getting accepted to multiple places. So we can be more than 100%. Okay? But they're going all over. Okay? And that's okay. Okay, some really good quality schools. Here, now what I'm going to do is break down what it's like for each country. Just a snapshot. You're going to get this, so I'm going to really go through it quickly. But you need to get a sense for how different all these places are. Okay? So, general requirements, it's a 4-year degree in the United States. They usually want your high school diploma, and they know how to interpret the IB diploma. Parents, don't worry about that. They want the IB, they know the IB. You've got a sheet there talking to you about it. They accept more students that have IB than none. It's all okay. Okay? But you need to probably be taking a test as well, an SAT or an ACT. Okay? It doesn't really matter which one. Some schools are test optional. In other words, some schools are getting out of the testing game. And they're saying, if you take it, fine, but we don't require it. Okay? English proficiency is important. If you're taking IB and you score a 4 or higher, you've done it. You don't need to do the TOEFL or the IELTS. Okay, 4 years to get a bachelor degree. The big difference, and this is other thing, is you need to know what a college and university is. A college in the U.S. is undergrad only, up to a bachelor. Okay, tends to be taught by professors, tends to be smaller, more intimate, but not as broad on programming, not as research-based. They're not a research institution, usually liberal arts. Okay, universities are comprehensive undergrad and graduate programs, usually research-based, more grad assistance teaching, more resources, more specialty programs, etc. The big thing is also students do not need to know what they're going to study when they go. They don't need to know. Undecided is great. If they know, wonderful, but there's no expectation. You are not applying to a specific course in the U.S. like you do in the UK or in Europe, or in some other parts of the world. Okay? Here's the other things. Everyone knows the big names of Yale, Harvard, Princeton, Ivy, Stanford, MIT, etc. But look at this. They received, this was last year's number. They're predicting 60 to 70,000 this year. Look at the acceptance percentage of Harvard. 3.2% of everyone that applied to Harvard got in. So guess what? They all had a perfect GPA, a high test score, service, leadership. They were wonderful. But from all of that got in, only 3.2% got in. So how do you make yourself look unique in that pool? Okay, we help with that. But, got to be aware of that. Anyway, brand names are great, but there's a breadth of institutions that do great undergrad programs that aren't that way. So anyway, move on from that. Cost and fees. Public is about 30,000 US a year, give or take. On average, private 50 to 60. The advantage of private is more scholarship, a lot more scholarship. If you're public and you own a house, depending on the state, and you still have your residency there, you can get in-state tuition, which can be very affordable. Okay, where we're not even talking community college, which is an undergrad route, it's also even more affordable. There's a lot of options. But you need to know about the 2 types of scholarships available. There is merit-based, based on your ability. Academic, musical, theatrical, sports, that's merit-based, okay? And then there's need-based, okay? So you have to show tax reports, you've got to go through a financial aid process to qualify for it. Financial aid, there's 2 types of ways they view your application if you need it. One is if you apply, some institutions will be need blind. In other words, what they do is it won't be based on whether or not you need aid or not. They're just looking at it without looking at finances. Do you qualify to come in or not? Some universities are need aware. In other words, when they look at your application, they want to know, do you need financial aid or not? Okay? But they're very upfront with those differences. There's no secrets there. Canada. I love Canada. I think it provides some outstanding options and very affordable. Canada, they not only know how to interpret, they know the DP. They love the DP. Actually, we get some great teachers out of Canada because they have been in inquiry-based, project-based learning their whole lives. It's really good. Diplomas, if you're a diploma candidate doing the full IB diploma, you do not need to take the SAT. No external test required. However, because your IB scores will count, right? If you're not a full IB DP, you're going to need to take the SAT. They want some kind of an external assessment on you. So if you're doing the IB, that's externally assessed, that counts. If not, take the SAT, okay? English proficiency, same as the United States. Each department and program has different entry requirements. So you're going into a department or you're going into a program. It sounds like Europe, it sounds like the UK, okay? So US, you're getting into the university or the college. Here, it's the department or the program, okay? And they will have different expectations. Usually 3 years or 4 years for a bachelor's, okay? It's usually a year shorter. Really nice piece. You can get permanent Canadian residency if you're international after you graduate there and you apply for it. There's a process for you to become naturalized there if you graduate from it. I'm not selling it, I'm just telling you, okay? I'm from the US, but I'll let them know. Also, the government really wants international applicants. They have a public goal of getting a lot of international students in the country. So that means they're going to be very favorable to international applications that come in, more than if they're local Canadian. Finally, fees are very reasonable compared to US, about one-third. One-third, okay? Australia, okay? All right, here we go. Length of study is usually about 3 years. You apply for a very specific program. Again, you better know what you're going to do. There are foundation courses, there are other options. These are just generalizations, okay? If you're an IBDP student, university will make an admission based on your IB score. So they wait until your IB score. By the way, on admissions, when your child gets their first admission, they're going to be so excited. I got into wherever I got in. Yes! Read the letter. It says conditional, provisional. Nothing's guaranteed till two things happen. One, they graduate high school. Two, if they have to have an IB score, they've got to get that score. Then they will have their placement confirmed. If not, it will get rescinded. Nothing is more difficult on counselors than getting a call, usually on about July 7th or 8th, and all of a sudden, I didn't get my IB diploma score, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, this acceptance has been rescinded, what do I do? We work with you, there's options, but I say that because I say it especially to the seniors must finish strong. They're not done when they get the acceptance letter. You as a parent can celebrate too, but they're not done until they get all the way across the line. Okay, moving on. If they're a BIS diploma student, they should take the SAT. That means a BIS diploma, our diploma, not the IB diploma. Universities publish the minimum scores for entry to their department. For instance, I don't know, Mr. Rowland, what did you tell me of the one last time?
Oh, look, I looked at University of New South Wales in New South Wales. I looked at Melbourne University, looked at University of Western Australia in Western Australia. Look, it depends on the university, but they are really clear, those universities. They would simply say, if you want to do arts at Melbourne University, you need to get 31. If you want to do science at University of New South Wales, you need to get 29. I mean, it's very, very clear. There's a table that says, this is the course, this is the score.
Yep.
That's it.
You get it, you're in. Okay? Really nice. All right? English proficiency, TOEFL or this, required depending on what your score in your IB is. Okay? All right. Fees, again, this is US dollar conversions. This is old, not taking current Australian conversion rates in mind. It is what it is. Okay, you can check on the website to find out what it is. Scholarship opportunities. The big thing here is in Australia, as a student, you can work. Big deal. Not true in every country. So you do have that possibility. Moving on. UK. Love the UK. A lot of folks go to the UK. Okay, and here we go. And we're talking England, Scotland, Wales, etc. We're talking UCAS. If you have any interest in knowing anything about UK universities, go to the UCAS website, UCAS. Just Google it, go there. Wealth of information, resources, videos, supports, helps. It's a great resource for parents and students. Okay, generally bachelor's programs in Scotland are 4 years. Everyone else is usually 3. Students are required to apply for UK universities through UCAS only, and you can only apply to 5. Now in our 10 application limit, that UCAS counts as 5 applicants. When you apply to the University of California system of schools, it's 1 application because you're applying to the whole system. You do it once. Okay, it's a clearinghouse. Common application in the United States is each university you list on the Common App. Each counts as 1. UCAS max is 5. That's not our rule, that's UCAS. Okay? Again, research. All right, anyway, you choose your major. And it's a great option if you know exactly what you want to study. Okay? For instance, if someone wants to do finance or economics and they're really strong, they can go to London School of Economics. Brilliant school, but they better be at a 38 or higher. Maximum 45 for the IBDP. If they get a 37, they're not going anywhere. Okay? So anyway, University of Scotland are a bit more flexible, and they look at the personal essay and IB scores to determine admission, and the personal essay is objective. I'll talk about it in a moment. North America, it's flowery, it's hyperbole, it's about how lovely you are. Here, no. It's really straightforward, okay? It helps if they've done some volunteer work. If they've been active in IB, what they've done for CAS is really welcome. Okay. All right, tuition can really vary depending on the program. These were last year's numbers. I haven't updated them. The big thing here, folks, Brexit is going to impact this big time. We don't know how, we don't know what, but every rep comes in and says, hold on, because there's going to be less money available, tuition fees are going up. Okay? No one wants to be the first one to put it out there yet, but it's coming. Okay? And again, Brexit is changing this whole thing. Also, you have to remember to figure in the cost of living. A number of our seniors want to go to London. London's a beautiful city. They want to go to London. And the number of seniors that go to London after 1 year or 2 years say, I had to go somewhere else because it was too expensive to live, is actually a high percentage. Okay? Because the quality of life they're used to living here, they think they're going to live it in London, and they quickly find out it doesn't happen. Okay? So that's where the conversation from the parents is real important. Okay? As well as everyone else. Europe. Germany. Okay? Lovely thing in Germany, public schools are free. Okay? Yes, love Germany. But you gotta get in. Okay? Okay, there are some semester student fees. DAAD is the link to go on. There are some research scholarships. Very important, they have to be able to speak German up to a good level. Good level. And the requirements are pretty stringent. Okay? All right? Look at each university's requirements if you're looking at Germany. Austria, okay, EUs are free. They even go ahead and give a little bit of a thing here. Again, you got to get in. Getting in is always the challenge. Netherlands is very, very, very popular. The Netherlands is marketing itself as the place to go in Europe for university. They want internationals hugely. And they are very affordable. These are great links. Tuition fee is extremely reasonable. They are adding on more and more English programs every year. All in English, okay? So really, if you're looking at Europe and you're not sure, and they're very IB friendly. Okay, very IB friendly. Nordic countries, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, universities free, yay. you got to get in, you get a stipend here, and also though you got to have some language ability. Okay, you got to have some local language ability. So, anyway. Asia, more and more of our students are looking, doing as part of their applications, again, I said 2 or 3 countries, they are looking more to Asia. Hong Kong is very hot, okay, it's very, English is there, the quality of education is real good, and it's affordable. And it's more based on the U.S. system, it's a 4-year degree usually, fees are real reasonable, and there's some excellent programs. A number of Hong Kong universities come here, they want our kids, they want IB kids, so they come. Hong Kong Polytech will be here next week, I think. So Friday, this Friday. Thank you. So there we go. Singapore, again, 34 universities in Singapore. Excellent. Just competitive to get in. Just competitive. Okay. Very specific entry requirements. Do your research. Fees are reasonable, but of course you got the high cost of living. You got to balance it out. Okay. Japan, again, fees are actually not very much if you get in. You got to have Japanese language ability mostly, but they are moving towards more international programming each year, and Japan as a country now nationally recognizes the IB diploma. So they are conversant and they recognize that as a qualification for entrance into their programs. So we're seeing more students look to Japan. Okay? Korea, let's not forget Korea. Korea is an option as well, okay? All right? And essentially there's 370 universities in Korea, 43 national universities, tons of options. The challenge, of course, is it in English? And will they recognize the IB diploma? Some universities are doing that now. Some of the Sky universities up in Seoul, okay, Korea National, Seoul National, Ewha, and Yonsei are recognizing the IB diploma. They also have international programs to study to apply to. So Korea is becoming more of an option for our students. Additionally, anyone doing technical sciences, the Korean universities for technical science are some of the best in Asia. UNIST, right up the street in Ulsan, one of the best research facilities for certain types of research, especially chemical and materials that you'll find in Asia. They have students from 43 different countries there right now, and they give scholarships. And it's in English. KAIST as well, up north is another great one. The point is there's options. Plus you have Songdo. In Songdo, which is by Incheon, you have some U.S. universities that have branch campuses there. Okay, it's the Ghent group. You can get more information from us on it. But you can basically be attending a branch of a U.S. university in Korea there and have transferability back. So a lot of options in Korea. Again, do your homework. Here's some universities that have visited or will visit. It's not the whole list. We also get design colleges, technical ones in. It's a broad range. Upcoming visits, Jacob University was here from Germany on Monday. Stevens canceled on us today because the rep got sick. But is going to do a Skype visit for anyone interested. Like we said, City University London is tomorrow. UBC is coming. Hong Kong Poly. Gillian is a great institute as well, especially for hospitality. Bristol's coming. Chicago Art Institute, fabulous school. SCAD's coming in November. We tell the students when they're all coming. They know it. We're on the calendar. If you want to know as a parent, just need to let us know. We can let you know too. Okay? If you want to talk to the rep, you can. Okay? It's not just for students. But we also will do fairs. A lot of those are in the beginning of the year or in the spring if they come as a group. Almost done. Bridge U is the tool we talk about that we use. We get scattergrams. It's a portal through which applications happen. And in the future, you will have a login so you can use it too. Okay? So you can help research and you can see what the percentages, what the options are for your child. Other university research tools. These are great websites to be aware of. Okay, I didn't put UCAS on there. My apologies. The big thing is everyone needs to do a lot of research. There's a lot of options out there. You can never start too early. FAQs. I'm almost done. You've done great. We're almost to questions. Okay. Testing, what about testing? We talked about it. The two types of tests that usually are done most commonly is the SAT reasoning test, it's considered an aptitude test, or the ACT, which is more of an achievement test. It doesn't matter which one, but you should look at the universities you're applying to. They're usually friendly, one towards the other, okay? Again, you apply for the SAT at College Board. It covers critical reading, math, and writing. Take the first one in your spring semester of grade 11, and then we have the dates here. We are a College Board testing center for the SAT. So kids actually take the SAT in this room on those dates. We are a closed center for our students only, okay? The ACT, now you also have subject tests you can do too, okay, specifically, but I'm not going to get too deep on that right now. ACT covers curriculum, and here's the dates. It's actstudent.org. ACT has vended out the testing of the ACT in Korea to a vendor. The vendor's up in Seoul. You have to go up to Seoul to take it. You got to take it along with 500 other students in an auditorium or wherever they go. But that's fine. I mean, that's just, it's what you have. SAT's here, ACT is up there. Those are your options. Again, spring of grade 11 is when you get into it. Do the second test in September, October of grade 12. If you need to take them. Moving on. Finally, not finally, almost done. Types of admissions. You just don't get admitted. There's types of admissions. There's restricted and unrestricted. And you sometimes have to indicate what are you applying for. Okay? First is non-restrictive admissions. There's regular decision. For instance, regular decision applications will go in by X date. North America, typically you're talking January 1 or somewhere in there, okay? Or in December, okay? Some places are rolling admission. In other words, whenever you get us your application, we'll review it, we'll let you know. It just rolls, okay? And those are often sometimes more friendly. Early action, when I talk about applying early, this is your dream school and you're going to get your first one in early to them. Early, right now we have earlies going out this month for people. Okay, usually it's by the end of October or November 1st, depending what country they're going to. Again, it all depends on the country. Okay? What's really important here is this. This is non-binding. Early action, non-binding. What you're doing is you're testing the waters. You're saying, you know, I maybe want to marry you, but do you like me? Okay, is really what you're saying. And then the universe comes out and says, yeah, we like you. And then you say, well, how much? Okay, like, what are you going to do for financial aid? And how much do you like me? And what special things can you do for me? And do we really want to go there? How much is it again? All those things. But you're not tied to it, okay? Students are, anyway, they're not restricted, by the way, when you do early action, you're not restricted with your other applications. That's the other thing. It's non-binding, non-restricted. Then we got restricted admissions. Early decision. Early decision is binding. It is saying, I want to marry you. And I am not going to go courting anywhere else. I am not sending out another application to anyone because I'm in love with you. And it means regardless of financial aid, regardless of anything else, you will go there. You need to make an early decision application if you are if the price doesn't matter, and if you're really, really, really sure that they want you and you want them and everything else. Because the minute you send it off, if they say yes, you're bound. Okay? And it's usually the whole thing. You better be sure. Usually what happens with this is legacy applicants. My parents went there, I want to go there, they're going to let me in, I'm part of the family, early decision, done. Maybe if you're an athlete or a tuba player, and they need a tuba player real bad, and they want you as their tuba player, go early decision, you're in, okay, and stuff like that. But this is, we really rarely recommend this. Everyone thinks it's easy, it's cool, it's done. You need to be careful. All right, and then restrictive early action. Very few people do this, okay? And basically, what you're doing here is you're applying, and they're putting rules on where you can send your other applications. So some Ivies will say, we're the only Ivy you can apply to, okay, or something like that. It's just silly. You don't need to restrict yourself, okay? But be aware of that. Teacher recommendation letters, what about that? We recommend two things. If you're going to North America, we recommend two of them. One from a math science, one from an English or social studies. Your counselor writes one automatically for you as well. But the students need to ask their teachers to do that. Okay, our seniors are doing that right now, and we're getting all that done. Okay, and the big thing here is that the letters, we always encourage relationships, but we really encourage our students already in grade 9 or grade 10, work on your relationships with your teachers. Doesn't mean be the favorite. It just means realize that your teachers are going to be asked to talk about you in the class and give specific examples about how good of a student you are and why, and what's your potential, and what can they say. They can only do that if you're active in the class and if you have a good relationship with the teacher. So relationships matter for the letters. Okay, the worst thing you want to do is go up to someone and say, can you write a letter for them and go, yeah, I can, I just don't have a lot to say. That's not going to help you. Okay? Now, our teachers are really committed and very pastoral, and they really want to connect, but students have to reciprocate with this in mind. With this in mind. Okay, for UK universities, okay, it's a little bit different. The teacher recommendations or the teacher statements are incorporated into UCAS. Many of the other European countries don't need a letter at all. Okay, so, but again, this is more of, and that letter is a little bit more objective. This is the other thing. No matter where you're going, whether it's Europe or the US, they're going to want you to do a personal statement or a motivation letter. In other words, why do you want to go to this school? Or they give you some other prompt. This is the only part of the application process that a student has 100% control of. And this weighs heavy in the decision process. Many people think GPA is most important. Forget it. This is much more important. So we really got to make sure this is the best piece of writing. This is where every student can show how they're unique, how they're special, how they rise above the rest, and why they're a good fit for that school. Not so much why I love to go to the school. Oh, you got a good engineering program. I want to go there. Yeah. Okay? What are you going to bring to the school? What special experiences have you had that you want to bring into that school community? What are you going to do once you're done with your education? Okay? Those kinds of things. And we coach people, we coach everyone through that. Very important though. North America, again, it's more subjective. Okay, it's more of a creative writing piece. They usually give you prompts. Okay, UK, it's more objective. And here are the questions to answer. Specifically, why have you chosen this course? Again, you're applying to a specific course. Economics, business, engineering. Okay, what have you done to demonstrate your interest in that course material? Okay, how do your academic subjects relate to that? Okay, what have you learned from your activities outside that's relevant? And finally, what personal experience or ambitions do you link to this? That's it. Keep it dry, keep it factual. But still, and also, by the way, you're limited on the number of words. Every word counts. Looking at Sophia, she's going, yeah, every word counts, we know. We're working, she's got a great one. So those are just some of the pieces. We're to the great part of questions and answers. That's a broad overview. But in the end, it's a personal journey for each and every student and each and every family. And again, as a former parent, still a parent, but a parent that's gone through this, we had four separate journeys because we have 4 separate kids. You will find the same if you have more than one child. So let's open it up for questions and see what we have. Go ahead.
Of your 30 senior students,
Yep.
how many are doing the IB diploma?
Goodness. The full IB DP, I would say probably 26. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say 20. I was going to actually throw out 24, but 26. Yeah. Yeah, we have one senior who has just joined us this year, so is not eligible to participate because you have to be here 2 years. and stuff like that. One thing I didn't put up here, and I'm remiss in not doing it, is more and more students are embracing a gap year. Okay, and a gap year is where you take, after you graduate, you take a year and do something productive with it. Don't play video games. Don't sit and do nothing, but do something productive and use that year to explore an interest, to do service, to have some intentionality with it, and then apply. And some students just aren't ready, or they need a break, or who knows what. This year, and sometimes you have to do a national year of service. Sometimes there's other reasons for it. But gap years are becoming more popular. One of my children did a gap year. It was the best thing he could have done for himself. Okay? Helped him really think about where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. He did some work, he did some service, he did some other things. It was really positive, but it's not for everyone. But the gap year is an option. Okay? Another thing some students will do is they will apply and get accepted, and they'll defer their acceptance for a year. In other words, yes, I want to come, but not this year, next year. Can I do that? Most universities will say yes. Okay, and then they do their gap year. Okay? So we have, inside the senior class this year, we have 5 students who are doing a gap year. Okay? All with different plans. And that's great. And there's programs now also to give a structured gap year. You know, go work with an NGO for a year in Africa. Do some incredible things. Anyway, I just throw that out there. Other questions? So good question on number of IBDP.
Sort of on the, piggybacking on that one, so obviously you can't speak to this year, but last year's, how many students did the IB diploma and how many students of those graduated with the IB diploma?
Okay, last year we had 24 graduates? 24 graduates last year, and I think it was 21 did the full IBDP, and all but one got it. We did an appeal on results, and they all, so 100% got their IB diploma. Usually, world average is about 87% of the students that attempt it get it. Our average as a school is about 92, 93. Okay, we're not 100%, we're an inclusive program. We could be 100%, we could gatekeep it, but we don't. And so, yeah, so last year was really, usually it's pretty strong. Our average IB diploma score 2 years ago was 32. This last year it was just a little bit over 30. This class this year, a very strong cohort. We're projecting another strong 32, 33, we hope. Okay. Our best score ever, perfect, is 45. We've never had that. There's only like 1,000 in the world or whatever. Very hard to get a 45. Our best has been 42, which is incredible. Anything above 38 is considered a premium score. Every year we have a good cadre of premium scores. You have to get a 24 to get your diploma, though. That's the pass. Okay. Good questions. Other questions? Come on. All right. Yeah, you bet.
I'm going to dominate
No.
the conversation. So I've been doing some reading that U.S. universities are moving away from SAT, and I know that you said it as well.
Yep.
But like, how much of that is actually true? Are universities truly moving away from it?
Yes, they are. And the reason they're getting away from it is because applicants are believing that they can game the SAT to get preferential admission into universities. And what they're also finding is there's not a correlation between how a student does on the actual test of SAT or ACT and their ability to successfully stay and complete at university. So it's a false correlation. The assumption used to be if you have the IQ, you're going to be fine. Now it's, do you have the skills to get through? That's why with the IB, we talk about the approaches to learning, and we talk about the skill development. It's critical thinking, it's reasoning, it's synthesis, it's research, it's communication, it's time management, it's all those things. All that comes in. And universities are saying the SAT and ACT don't do that. Too much money going in, too much focus, it's not that big of a determinant. We're going this way. But until you see the whole, I'm waiting to see large groups actually pull out. Okay, right now it's been individual institutions and it's waterfalling, but I would love, for instance, to see a certain coalition of certain colleges as a conference or a group say, we are all doing it. When that starts happening, then we're finally at the tipping point. Okay? The old nomenclature used to be, I've got to get a perfect report card, and I've got to get a good standardized test result, and then I got to do a little community service and do something else, and then I'll get in. Everyone's there. That is not the equation. There's no recipe anymore. Okay? That's why this is so valuable. Other questions? You guys are doing great. You're still with me. This is good. Okay, other questions? Yes, please.
How do you choose the IB subjects?
So how do students choose the IB subjects? Students go through a we have a IB selection night for parents and for you to come in and talk to the heads of department and talk to the teachers and learn the differences of what the subjects are that are available. Okay? And then you choose. Now, we do not offer, as the size of school we are, as many options as we would like to. We have to offer more mainstream offerings that will meet most people's needs. But for instance, you know, we have psychology, we have economics, we have, you know, mathematics at 3 levels, higher level, standard level math studies. Okay, we've got a lot of options. We have art options. We've got all the sciences. Okay, so there is a good selection to choose from. But then part of that is, where do you want to go to university? What do you want to study? What keeps your options open the most if you don't know? And then we all talk about that with the teachers, with the heads of department, with the coordinator, and with the counselors. Okay, so it really is a counseling process. Okay. Other questions?
When do you start this counseling process?
Well, right now we are focusing on our grade 12s. This first semester, it has to be grade 12s because their applications are going. They are our world right now, okay? And they will be the world the whole year, but right now we're really making sure they get everything together, ducks in order, get all the things in and stuff like that. Second semester, we'll be looking more at juniors. I've already met with the juniors. I've already had a good session with the juniors, and I'm bugging the juniors whenever our universities here get in there. And as I'm seeing, we haven't met with the sophomores yet. We'll meet with the sophomores after we finish the seniors, and then we'll start talking to the freshmen, grade 9, by the end of the year. Okay? This program, we are rolling it out. Okay? So if you got a grade 9, you go home. So has Mr. Baker talked to you yet? No. Have not done that, nor has Dr. Johnson yet. Will we? Yes. Okay, we will. Okay? Great questions, guys. Last call for questions. Going once, going twice. All right, well, thank you so much for being here and for participating in the session and for allowing yourselves to be recorded for our webinar. So if anyone has any questions, they can go ahead and contact myself or Dr. Johnson at the University Guidance Center. We're here to help. Thank you very much. Have a good night.